And welcome to another Black Desert stream. My name is CM Shirna.
My name is Trent.
And we have an update today.
We can say that, right, Kashima?
Can we say that it's actually happening today? It is happening today. All right.
We have an update today. Okay, so if you're new to the streams, which is possible at this point still, we go through a state of the address, then the update itself, then patch notes, events, gameplay, and then we'll do a bit of a Q&A throughout the whole thing, but at the end, a dedicated Q&A.
Yes, where it's more focused.
Yes.
Yeah.
First things up is, you want to talk about it first?
Okay, so one of the things that happened last week, on Friday, we released an Xbox patch. On Saturday, we reverted said patch. So basically, this was supposed to do quite a few little background things that we're not allowed to talk about. But basically, we discovered an issue once it went on live, and we had to revert it. Now, people were saying as soon as it came out that, I'm crashing a little bit more. I've had a few crashes, this, that, the other. When that happens, we do have to go through the usual spiel of, make sure you clear your reserve space, make sure you do this, make sure you've checked this, because it might not be an issue. But when we started to see more, it was already reported, and we reverted that patch. That will be coming in the future once the issues with it have been fixed. But yeah, basically that's what happened with that. We released it, found some issues, pulled it back.
Yeah. As Sharon said, it was just it was for the, purpose of stabilization. We also released a couple of other patches that dealt with how data is done through the load screens. And so that involves character data as well as UI data. Now, based on the figures that we have, our stabilization has improved, but we still have work to do. We had a pretty good rate of patches that were helping the issues that involved in crashes. However, as Shirna said, the one that was for Xbox and slated to be for PlayStation as well had some issues, so we had to pull that back, and we're reworking on that one. So crashes have improved. It doesn't mean that it's been perfected, but it has improved by all stats and figures for us. We want to get it even better and go from there. Now, I mentioned this in a lot of people's streams and Discord and in-game to a certain extent as well, where stabilization focuses on crashes. Optimization regards lag and freezes and all this kind of stuff, like temporary freezes. Perma-freezes are regarding stabilization, right? Temporary freezes are in the vein of optimization. We have to stabilize the game first before we can move forward with the optimization efforts as well as content update efforts, like the big content updates. Right? So for the most part, thank you for everyone who's been sending us clips, if they're streaming or whatever the case may be on Discord, sending us their feedback on I'm crashing in this particular area, or out of this load screen, or when I do this specific thing. Is one of the reasons why we were able to pull back the patch that kind of messed people up on Xbox for a bit. So thank you for that, and I hope we continue doing that.
Also, if you do find a crash that happens in a specific location with a certain action, it's still worth reporting to us, because I think there was one where if Sage used a certain skill next to a rock in a certain place, like a very specific place, 100% crash rate. And that happened on every platform, just no one had thought about using that skill in that location because there was nothing there. So we ended up getting that fixed. So things like that are really useful if you do have any particular crashes that happen that aren't just, loading into this window or whatever. It does really help us. So whether it's a general crash or a very specific one that you can replicate, it is very useful for us to know.
Yep. I think that's it for this. Oh, actually, no, one more thing. More on the lighter side of things and the community things. A couple of our EU partners held the EU Arena Varsity Tournament, which was really dope. I highly recommend go checking it out. I'll share that in Discord after the stream.
Quality production. Big hats off.
Right. You got to keep that on the download, because the NA tournament is also scheduled by different partners, and they're also awesome at this.
Yeah. So it's going to be fun.
The production may be slightly different, but the fun will still be the same. And I genuinely mean that. I highly recommend you guys go to No, It Will Not Be As High Quality, says Guido. Sir, I'm trying to help you out here. The tournaments were great. The EU tournament was great.
Where would you find the EU tournament if you're looking?
On Zek's YouTube channel.
Yes.
On Zek's YouTube channel, you can find that through the homepage, partners. Check out our partners. Go to Zek, or if he's in here, just share it if you'd like. That tournament was really great, and I had a lot of fun watching it. Commentating was really great too.
Yeah.
The NA tournament will be later. Guido, I forget specifically when, but please share that in chat and then on Discord as well.
Yeah, Armin is literally insane when it comes to the casting, rapping / following what's going on. Like, huge props, and thanks for him for helping out for that as well.
Arm is legit, and I hope he is doing well.
Okay, I don't want to spoil it for people, but I feel like we should congratulate the winners.
No, go watch it.
Go watch it. So I'll just say this then. Congratulations to the winners. Second place put up a good fight, but it was a good match, and hopefully anyone out there who hasn't watched it yet will go watch it and find out the results.
You could say that about any sport.
I know. Congratulations to the winner. Commiserations to second place. Everyone else, I mean, it happened. You did well. Thank you for participating.
Yeah.
We've been teachers before, man. Like, we've done kids' activities.
Pretty much.
Oh, congratulations on painting a face with your hand. Like, congratulations, son. Here's a medal. The worst part is that's so relatable if you've ever worked with kids.
They got stickers. Anyways, so I would definitely check that out. The NM tournament will be coming up, as well as for those of you who are joining us from Asia, if you guys would like to do that kind of tournament, reach out to us and we'll see what we can do to help out with that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so I guess we move on to the old patch notes.
Is it?
All right, so first up, Deve's Encyclopedia is coming in. Old Deve in Altanova wants to make an encyclopedia of random stuff. Take it to him, show it to him, don't give it to him, I think. I think it just stays in your inventory, and you will be able to progress through that.
When you say Deve's Encyclopedia, what is this?
Deve's Encyclopedia is a new adventure log, that will give you things like, I think it gives +1 AP, HP, stamina, weight. I think there's a pet in there. I think it's the Desert Fox. Might be wrong on that one. And one costume piece, which is a helmet, as far as I'm aware. That's assuming we get the whole thing. I think we do, but we haven't had a chance to fully check that out. Remember, you can find your adventure log in. I had this written down, and then I reprinted my sheets. It's menu, adventure log, bookshelf, which will be important when we get to the events later as well. And the adventure log bookshelf, you will be able to find Deve's Encyclopedia. We are also adding...
Wait. To do the Deve's Encyclopedia, what are the requirements?
You need to have completed Media, 56 or above, done your Awakening quest, and then accept and complete Encyclopedia, a book written by a genius or a fool from the Black Spirit.
Cool. And then you can get on with it.
Also, talking about adventure logs, we are increasing Rulipi's adventure log. It's not going all the way. I know some people before we started were looking for the 30K. We're going for the 9,999 quest first, and that will give you a permanent enhancement chance +1 as the main reward on that. Mm-hmm. You want to do this one? Because it's your wheelhouse for today.
Oh, this is because I'm a life skiller. When you go hunting, certain monsters now have a chance of dropping Caphras stones when you butcher them or tan them.
Yep.
Right? Via hunting. And there's a whole list of monsters in there. But yes, Caphras can be obtained through hunting now.
Yep, there's more stabilization work carried out to improve memory usage while outputting items. I haven't had a chance to go ask what that means, but that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Right, so one of the bigger changes with this one is the Black Spirit Rage changes. So Black Spirit Rage skills are getting buffed pretty much across the board. Everyone's getting a little bit extra juice on that, as well as, and this is probably the most important part, when you use a 100% Black Spirit Rage skill, you will get the innate, or no, is it common? the common buff. Can you open up the skill menu and go to the the rage absorption? I can never remember which one's which. But basically, when you use 100% or 200% Black Spirit Rage skill, you will get the increase in AP and the increase in attack and casting speed,
Common's
which is in
Common's 100.
common. Yeah, so you'll get the common buff while using 100% Black Spirit Rage skill, which means no longer do you have to hold it until you wait for that to appear. But that will not stack if you can regain 100% before the end of the stuff.
Okay.
So you can't have 170% with all tongue grads, pop it, and then pop another one immediately after. The buffs do not stack.
Good stuff.
Yep. Then there's a whole bunch of balance changes, which includes the Black Spirit Rage skill buffs for some fixes here and there. The Voltaic Pulse change I don't think is fixed yet. A couple of the other issues I don't think have been fixed either, but there are some that have been. So make sure to check that out. It's a little bit funky where we are right now in the middle of the getting those balance updates into our patches.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get that sorted out soon as possible. Right.
Also regarding Tamer, some of the stats that weren't being applied to Heilang when you summoned it,
Yeah.
that has now been rectified
Yep.
on console, as well as some of the AP restrictions that are involved with Heilang Tamer calculations.
Yep. Also, in the item change section, a notice went out if you had the previous Garden Mountain Spirit costume, the one with the bear on its head, you can exchange it for the new Winter Mountain Guardian Spirit outfit set. If you have that pro item, you will be able to change. You will get a coupon, I think, or you go to someone.
And you can
must have
exchange
the
it, yeah.
coupon in your inventory, not equipped, and then go talk to the person. All details on that are in the notice that you can find on our website right now.
Okay.
And then change.
I think for a lot of this, I think we're good now.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything.
Like we said before, a lot of the more bigger updates, such as like returning of RBF, and for those of you who are still expecting Odalita, we're still waiting on the stabilization to get even better than what it is now before we bring that in.
Yeah, and to build on that, like we want to make sure the foundations are solid before we start building back up on it.
Yeah.
So the foundations need to be solid. They're looking a lot more solid, but we still have the chartered surveyors having a look, taking a peek into anything else that we can get, and then we'll be building upwards. But things are going the right direction before we can start adding new things and bringing RBF back and continuing on the update cycle that we have been off for a little bit of time.
Yeah, we were kind of hoping for the last patch that went out for Xbox and then was going to go out for PlayStation. That was going to help try and mitigate a lot of different things, but because there was an issue, we're trying to fix that. Once that's in and a couple of other things that we can fix up on, then we can bring back RBF.
Yeah. So it's getting closer. It's getting closer.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, events.
All right, I'll jump into events for now. This one was out. Okay, so first thing is, during the New Year, when we did the New Year events, because of the shenanigans that were involved in there, the New Year's Hope buff was for a very short time. We have now reintroduced that because the Lunar New Year is upon us. And it'll be for the full event period that is going to be there, so when that event comes out, you can go check it out. But basically, level 50 or higher, you need 20 energy to be able to take the buff from the Black Spirit, and you get an item drop rate plus 22% for 60 minutes.
Which does stack with things like the Supreme Old Moon Scroll.
Yes. Those things will stack.
On the topic of things that got a bit balked with the change in date, the fortune pouches, unfortunately, we can't bring that event back at the moment. We're not sure when we're going to be bringing it back. So if you do have a lot of fortune pouches, just sell them.
You can sell them or you can keep them or hoard them if you want, but I sold all of mine.
Yeah. Basically, the event was scheduled to end. We have to do an update to change it. Unfortunately, things had already been progressed to a point where we couldn't do that unless we wanted to wait another week or two. So yeah, that's why that event stuck around a little bit longer. And I know there was quite a bit of confusion in chats in game as well, because I was, seeing people talk about why is the fortune pouch dropping. Unfortunately, we couldn't remove it, so we left it in for just a bit of extra silver while grinding.
Pretty much. The next update is the snow crystal butterflies, which, based on your playtime challenges, which are 30, 60, and 120 minutes, you can get a snow crystal butterfly. Once you collect these, you can exchange them for cron stones, advice of memory, something called the winter crystal, which I'll talk about in just a second, ancient spirit dust, or advice of elks. The winter crystal is a buff that will give you an item drop rate plus 30%. This will stack with certain scrolls, but not all of them, and that list will be on the event page, right? But yeah, there's a lot of item drop buff related events there. We are also bringing back Panto's Golden Seals, the full event of this one.
Yep.
So during the event period, if you complete one of 3 quests, one of which is a hunting one is a fishing one is a gathering one.
Hunting in this case means killing monsters.
Yep. Oh, sorry. Yeah,
hunting.
I apologize for that. You can do that. You'll get 4 golden seals of Panto for the quest that you do. Only 1 out of the 3. Once you get 10, you can exchange it for a Shakatu's luxury box. Now, for the defeating of monsters quest out of the 3, you have to fill up a Marnie Stone that's 500 monsters. So Marnie Stone 2.
Yep.
A full list of those are in there. Last time we did it all the way up to Shira Ruins. This time we're adding in also Prodi Cave and Sakraya.
Yep.
In that event. Do you want to go to the next one? Or do you want
Yeah, then we're bringing in a guild event. These quests are for a massive chunk of monsters that need to be killed, but they do reward a lot of extra silver. Basically, you'll find these quests in the usual locations. You accept one, and you do the thing. So it's defeat 3,000 monsters, defeat, 5,000, 7,000, and 10,000 monsters, and the time limit increases on each of those. But remember, it is any monster anywhere. You don't all have to crowd into Bashims if you're doing it. But yeah, basically you'll get 17.5 million silver in funds. That's for the smallest one, whereas the highest one, the 10,000 kills, is 40 million. You get a whole bunch of guild EXP, the Old Moon Guild support box, as well as Essence of Fury and Old Moon Combat Seals.
Yes.
So make sure to check those out. These extra guild missions are pretty nice for some extra bit of silver into yours and your guild's bank accounts.
And the guild support boxes can be sold for 5 mil in terms of guild silver.
Yes.
Right. Next, we will also have.
Wait, why is that in German?
Kind of talk with that CM. There is going to be a 24-hour hot time where it's going to be 250% plus combat EXP, 50% plus skill EXP on all servers, including Arsha and Olvia. There will also be we were talking about adventure logs for quite a while.
Yep.
There will also be the Valentine's Day adventure log, but those, if you've already done it in the past, you won't be able to do it again.
I don't think we've ever had it.
Yes, we did.
No, I don't think we had the adventure log, did we?
Yeah, you can check it now.
Okay.
But yeah, there's that, and then we have our regular attendance event.
Right, and then that's it for that.
Yeah.
Oh, we did have it before. Which
So if
means
you've
I've
already done it,
it,
then you probably won't be able to do it again. If you completed all of them, I mean. But if you haven't completed all of them, you can still finish up the rest of them. And if you're new, you can just redo that or do it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Really, I completely forgot we had that.
Yeah.
That was back in the day.
It's been a while.
It's been 2 years since that, isn't it?
But yes, those are our events as well as the patch for this time around. Anything else I want to talk about here?
No, I think that's it.
For now, I think I'm good. Anything I need to touch on? I'll touch on the RBF frustrations for a lot of people. I get it. I still contend that stabilization needs to be more prioritized over that because, and I think for those of you who were doing RBF will be able to verify this as well. RBF had a lot of issues in terms of crashes as well. that was a big problem. So in doing all these stabilization changes, we hope that the RBF experience will be better when it comes back in.
Yeah, and also saying like it has improved since its removal. We have been able to make bigger steps
Yeah.
in terms of the stabilization of the game. So when it comes back, hopefully things will be honky dory.
No,
with that.
and it was not fine. That being said, I think there were a lot of people who said, like, dude, with the reboots coming in, it would have been nice to have the RBF there.
Yeah.
So that everyone can just kind of do their thing. I agree. But that wasn't the situation that we were in at that point. And given what we talked about the last few months, actually, and I think stabilization has to be more important at this point. At this point in time. But yeah.
Yep. But we are planning to bring it back as soon as things reach a point where we feel it's able to be as stable as possible.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into the stream. Let's
wanna
get
do
into the
yours
gameplay.
first?
No, I'm just messing around. You're the one who's in control today.
Oh, am I doing this one?
Yeah. This is something we discussed, and that's why you're set up for
Oh, Jesus.
for
All right.
hunting, buddy. Right. So, because a certain part of the adventure log requires things that are available from hunting, Trent is going to show you basically how to begin hunting and how to do hunting, and yeah. So he has prepared an extra special educational stream. So I'm prepared.
I don't know where to begin with this, but let's try it anyways. For those of you who don't know about hunting or are willing to do hunting at this point, to do the adventure log and all this kind of stuff, whatever your motivations may be, the first thing you need to do, and this is a test server, is to have a gathering level that's high enough. You don't need master. And you need
gathering 5,
Yeah.
beginner 5 or higher.
beginner 5 or higher, and you need amity with Lorenzo in Velia. Now, the best way to start, in my opinion, the best way to start your hunting adventures is through the adventure log. So go here, check out your requirements over here. Do what you need to do here, as I said. So the gathering level 5 or higher, amity with Alfredo, and to do the Daphne's Matchlock quest.
Yes.
Where do you go to do it?
Daphne's Matchlock, the Delucci farm.
You do not. You pick up the quest at Alfredo first.
Ah, okay.
It's really weird, but Alfredo is beside Takros in Velia. You do your thing, you come here, and then you begin your stuff. Now, you can chat with Daphne. I got the matchlock already. And then you can pick up your quests. Let's do...
It was the bees one,
Yep.
Bee Hertz farm.
I already got B. Let's do my thing. Yay.
So when hunting, you need to make sure that you're looking at the mini-map. For the beehives, it doesn't matter. You just look in the trees, you'll see them. But when you're going hunting monsters like boars or deer, lions, etc., make sure that you look at the minimap and the icon will be a little, I don't know how to describe it, like a devil symbol? I don't know, like a goblin?
A monster face is what you're looking
It's
for.
a monster face, yeah, sure, that'll do. Instead of the usual little dots, it is a more of a exaggerated face.
Pretty much. So, equip your matchlock. You need to not be in a combat stance. That is one of the most frustrating things of hunting. Shoot, pop it, yay.
And then get the item while you're at it. If you're killing monsters, you will need to butcher or tan in order to get hunting experience, as well as complete the quests, which give you hunting EXP. I believe it's Chuck Lorre in Ovia that gives a decent amount. And there you go, you've completed the quest.
Where's that imp?
What?
Yes.
No, sir, come on. He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve it. No, come on, man. Come on, man. Don't headshot him. Sir, we discussed this before. No headshotting the goblins.
I'm sorry, that's just one of my favorite parts. But yes, then you turn in the quest, and there's a whole series of quests that you can do with that. Once you turn that in, you go back to your progression pass and just follow the line and go from there. There's also Chuck Lorre, and you can pick up the quest. There's a whole quest line with that. You can pick up your beginner hunter's matchlock, which is pretty decent for someone who's just starting. Huh? I am out of frame.
Move over a little bit. There you go.
Oh, it's fine if I was out of frame. That's perfectly fine. Go in, talk to the people, and get your hunting XP. Now, when you shoot actual monsters, how do you get hunting XP?
I already said butcher or tandem.
Hooray, right? And that's about it. We can probably pick up more Caphar stones now because that content's unlocked. You will need it for Deep to get your extra AP anyways, for those of you who are PvP oriented.
Yep, and I checked the markets, and there are none of what you need on sale for the hunting parts. So we might all have to go out hunting to try and do that. But remember,
I don't want that.
you don't need to give it over to Dave, as far as I'm aware. It's show him, and then you can get it back. So don't worry about that. I think it's the stuffed heads that you need, the blue grade ones, to show him in order to proceed quests.
Yeah.
But that's a little spoiler for the adventure log.
But that's the beginner or basics of hunting. Now, there's going to be a lot of stuff that you can do with hunting to maximize your efforts, which is like get seafood cron meals. You can equip better butcher weapons as well as like clothing and accessories to speed up your gathering and kind of go from there.
You can also use a horse to tank the damage when hunting.
You could do that as well, or you can go through your suggested once you get to a high enough level to be able to do it. And there should be all these dailies that you can do as well as quest lines, right? There's a whole quest line, and then there's, once you get to a certain point, you can find all your dailies from there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the adventure log does add a little bit of hunting element to it. Yeah. That's that. And I know people are like, this was added a long time ago, but there are people who maybe not be aware of Deeves, but there has been a lot of people asking for it, so here it is. We did manage to add it. Is there anything else that we need to do with hunting?
Not at the moment. A lot of your hunting quests will take you out into the islands, like the dailies. And there's a maximized route that you can go check on, I want to say, Grumpy.
Yeah.
Grumpy has a pretty good maximized route on where to go from there. There's also a lot of YouTube guys that will help you increase your levels. But yeah, it's good times.
Good times indeed. All right. I was just gonna grind on the Zerk while we talk, but is there really a point?
Not really.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into. Should we do the? Dude, you and that skateboard have been.
There's a lot of people, man. A lot of people have been hitting up for the skateboard, and it's been really fun.
Are you gonna try and do the roof to roof?
No.
What was it you said? Oh, you said you asked for, what was it, no fall damage when skateboarding?
Hold on. What I asked for were... Oh, man.
No, you asked for no fall damage when skateboarding.
So I got a lot of feedback regarding classes in general, right? One of which that was the most... I shouldn't say one of the which. One of the feedback that came from there was to have certain skills put on the ring menu and other skills not on the ring menu. This goes for all classes. Then I also asked, hey, what if you're like skateboarding from rooftop to rooftop, you don't take fall damage because my shy nearly dies every time when I skate on Calphion or Duvenkroon.
Also skate off Coranda Ridge.
Yeah, they said no.
Yeah, they said pretty much no.
Yeah, they straight up said no. So that's fine. All right, main camera.
All right, let's get into the Q&A section. Right, the skateboard is pretty fun though.
Yeah, I enjoy it. There's a lot more stuff that I need. I can go back to my normal seat.
What adventure log is it? It is Deeves Encyclopedia. Deeves Encyclopedia. Right, the maintenance schedule. Let's bring that up before we do anything else. North America, it will start at 9 p.m. and finish at 2 a.m. EU, it starts at 5 a.m. and finishes at 10 a.m. And Asia starts at 1 a.m. and finishes at 1 p.m. and finishes at 6 p.m. Unfortunately, Kashima did not write AM PM, so I had to kind of go on the fly. He didn't write the 24-hour clock, so how was I supposed to know?
That's perfectly fine as well. So, yeah, the maintenance this time is going to be an hour longer for us to do some more of the back-end stuff as well. Wait, notice 4 a.m. PST? Not 4 a.m. PST.
No, it's 9 p.m. PST.
Yeah, it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah. So right now it says 9 p.m.
Cool.
Kashima brought it up. It's 9 p.m. PST. Remember, this is console. If the 4 a.m. one might be PCs, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I actually don't know when they're I know what day it's on, but I don't know when it is. Yeah.
Is there any? Are there any plans for NA and EU to be merging at any point? Currently, that's not one of the things that we're looking into.
No.
So I believe NA will remain NA, EU will remain EU, and
Asia will remain Asia. Yep.
Yeah. How does an update with no content take even longer?
It's not about the content in the update. It's about what has to happen on the back end, such as server upgrades or like the firmware upgrades and things like that have to go on behind the scenes. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that like a lot of people don't talk about, but basically server maintenance, the server companies we need to push new firmware or new software onto it, that kind of stuff that goes on in the backgrounds. So the maintenance itself isn't purely for just this build. It's for quite a few other things, as well as other back-end work that needs to get done and that kind of stuff. Also, before I forget, this update, we should have the, was it the returning users or the new users which had the issue with the wrong item being given?
Returning users.
Day? So the returning users, there was the wrong item given on the last day. It should have been a Shaka 2 box. It was unfortunately a sweet gift box or something like that, which is roughly New Year's anyway, which is lucky, but couldn't be used. They will be switched into the correct item during this maintenance. There's another thing that's coming in, another thing like that, but I can't remember what it is.
Okay. There's no new information on the, about a new gathering system or pickup system for a console. There's no new information regarding that. I know that we were looking into like revamp some stuff because from what Jahinim said on his address to Black Desert in general. So there's no new information on that just yet. The other question I wanted to get to was, can we get Garmouth 2 times a week or at least a higher drop rate? The amount of times that we can do Garmouth a week is actually something that we've been kind of looking into to see if we're going to be able to do it. I think with the efforts that we're doing on stabilization, that's a conversation we can now revisit in terms of like the guild garments coming back as well as the other stuff.
Yeah. The AFK players, if you see people who you assume are AFK grinding, send a ticket to support. Don't report it in Twitch chat. Don't report it on YouTube. Don't report it in our Discord. Report it through a ticket. There is a whole process that goes through.
That being said, there were a lot of people who messaged me on Discord with clips as well. And I said the same thing, like, hey, send a ticket so that we can kind of have that process kind of take place. But if you send it to us, at least we can get that started for you as well. And we look into it. Now, just because someone is reported does not necessarily mean I ain't no snitch. No, okay. There's a whole entire process that kind of has to go through with that. And we do our best to adhere to that. So the ticket is probably the best way to do it. However, if a ticket system is very cumbersome, you can supplement that ticket by sending it to us as well. And then we can at least try and follow up on that. There's been quite a few people that have been sending in stuff like that, so thank you for that, legitimately.
UI, especially to hide the horse commands when mounted. I thought you could turn that. Oh, you mean the one right at the bottom corner? Yeah, it's something we'll bring up. I don't know why it's always up, but it's just how it is. We haven't had a new region for ages. Dragon was what?
Dragon's not the last one. Stars End and Prodi and stuff like that.
That was, but that's, I know what they mean though.
Yeah, but like we haven't had a new region for a while. That's not,
And it's something once we're ready for, we will bring it in. We don't want to give a timeline here, purely because if something comes up in the meantime and it gets pushed back, it's going to create more issues. Basically, we will announce when it's going to be coming, when we're sure it will be able to come. It's one of the things we have to make sure that we're doing when we come out, because a lot of the stabilization process is happening. When we can say it, we will say it. Same as RBF, same as other future content that might come out. bear with us as we continue to shore up the foundations so that we can safely build on, instead of trying to pilot on dodgy foundations and have things crash down again.
There's also something I do want to mention is that when we talk about this kind of goes back to the AFK stuff. If you see players that are doing AFK or like macro-based stuff, when we say send a ticket, I don't mean that to say like for every single issue, like this is what we're going to tell you to do. The reason why I say send a ticket for the AFK stuff is because there's an in-depth kind of monitoring system that kind of has to take place as well, following a report prior to the report and after the report. And that's why I say send it.
Yeah, it's a large investigation that has to go into it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Are we back to every other week patches? As far as we're aware,
I don't want to lose my mind again, man. But
possibly.
Yeah.
Right now, we're expecting it to be that way. There might come a few little hiccups here and there, but we are trying to get back to that 2-week cycle.
Yeah, we're trying our best to make sure that we maintain that schedule. But after the problems from last time, people expected an update last week because it was delayed. But because it was delayed, it had to be pushed to next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you open to new class ideas? Always. Whether it gets accepted or not, I mean, is a different story, but we're always open to new ideas. Shirna body pillow? I don't think I'd fit onto your single bed. If there was a body pillow made for my size, man, I don't think it'd fit his, like, a single bed. I'm a big guy.
I don't know what to say to that.
We don't have Arena of Blood. Arena of Blood is disabled.
Arena of Blood?
Arena of Blood. Altar of Blood, that's the one. Altar of Blood is disabled across everything right now. It's down for renovations, I think is the term. I don't know what's going on with it.
I'm not entirely, it's not that we're not entirely sure. We just can't mention anything yet. I'm hoping someone will at some point. But yes.
Any ideas for when RBF's coming back? When things are at the standard that we want to reach, the crash rates, overall, the percentages there, when they reach a point where we're certain we can safely build on, is the official point.
Yep.
And someone then goes on and says, PS5 version, we don't have any information on that, but we want to build it on a secure base. So some work is being done, most likely. And the stabilization efforts here are to make a good foundation for that to eventually arrive. But we don't have dates or anything like that. No new news that we can release.
Agreed.
Stars and Pillars, when, if I remember correctly, something came up with it, and then it kind of just got pushed back. I think it was when we were gearing up for it, it was when a lot of the cheese strats were happening. So I think it got pushed away. I'll ask about it, because I completely forgot about it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we'll bring it back up. I'm sure it's on someone's desk somewhere, so we'll find out what's going on there.
Interesting question, but I can talk about this without giving too much. So when we talk about crash rates, does that include, like, does that compensate for Node and Siege as well? Yes. Across the board, when we've been kind of looking at how we take a snapshot per situation and per variable, and we take a look at that, for the most part, it has gotten better. And I keep saying that, but it hasn't gotten to a point where it's okay to introduce new things just yet. Shirna keeps saying it as well, but the foundation has to be stable for that. But Node Wars, from all accounts, in terms of stats, as well as talking to people who are participating in these things, the crashes have gotten better. The lag and the freezes, temporary freezes, not the perma-freeze, the temporary freezes are still there. Some people say it's better. A lot of people say it's still there.
Yeah, especially when it comes to Conquest War with the reworked rewards and a lot more people participating in those regions. It has added extra stress to that. It's something that we're looking into.
I don't want to say that as an excuse, but even regarding all the people that are getting into it, the crashes have gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
And And again, not perfect. So yeah.
And the performance aspects of those will be on the agenda as soon as we can. As soon as stabilization is done and we're ready, that's something we're going to look into as well.
So when we say like things like the load data has gone, or we've improved on the load screen, or certain UI elements and stuff, in talking to certain people, and I'll give both sides of this.
Mm-hmm.
For some people on, let's say, PS4 Pros no SSD or PS Slims, even world bosses have gotten better. And for a lot of other people, it's like, well, I haven't really felt that change yet. So in narrowing down all these patches and figuring out each individual variable, we've been able to accommodate for more variables, but we need to work on that further. Crashes are not the main issue. Performance is the issue. No, you're wrong. Crashes are a huge issue.
Crashes are a huge issue.
You cannot experience performance if you cannot play the game. As simply as I can put that.
Kashima just walked out.
Yeah.
I think he's upset. If I buy the Mountain Spirit Guardian right now, will I still be able to exchange it? I believe yes. Make sure you check the notice. It has a full list of anything that might mess that up, but I believe yes, you can. What about Mounted Tamer, my friend? What about Mounted Tamer?
What about it?
Dude, it's cracked. Stick a Tamer on a horse. See what happens.
Are they not saying fix that? Mounted Tamer. Yeah, there's a lot of feedback getting on how do I say this? There's a lot of feedback for other classes. Musas as well, right? Musa, actually all classes either have their deficiencies or they're like souped up, and we kind of have to figure that out. Same thing with like damage mitigations and stuff like that. Because we don't have certain gear to be able to mitigate for that kind of damage.
It's also like balance is a continual thing that's in flux and is being worked on. Since the reboots came out, we're looking at all the data, making sure that we shore up a lot of the things that are happening, seeing if there are bugs that are causing these, then seeing like, okay, well, it seems like we have to adjust this balance here, there, blah, blah, blah. It's a long process. It's one that we are actively taking care of with the people who are in charge of balance. They are looking into a lot of things. Feedback is always welcome, except don't just say X, Y, Z need a nerf. And it's like, okay, but why? Like, what is it about it? If you can have something, even if it's just like, I can't catch Musas now. Or I can't, I don't know, I can't, as a ninja, I can no longer kill a Shy. A Shy will wreck me. Things like that are a little bit better than just saying buff, nerf, this class, this class.
Which, to be fair, within the Discord, they haven't been doing that.
Oh, yeah.
They have been.
A lot of the Discord has been quite.
Yeah, Knight, I know. Because I've seen that specific one as well. Now, when we talk about. Yeah, sleep's like. It's what I just said. While crashes have gone better, we need to make it even better before we start working on the optimization side of it. It's not that we deny that lag is not an issue. It's the simple priority of things.
Can we get the coupon code up? Is that worth bringing up now? I think it is. Let's throw it up. Kashima, since you just got back.
Hailing is bugged.
There we go. So, enter the coupon code, store your worries, and you will receive a combat or life box ×1. Make sure to go to console.playblackdesert.com/coupon, enter it in there, and you will get the combat or life box. If you don't know how to link your account, or if you haven't already linked, you will be able to find information on the website in various places on how to link your account to make sure that you can get these coupon codes. And remember, it is console only. It is not applicable to anyone else, only console players. Any ideas on chat censor, not just censoring words without letting us know what's wrong? Like, we've brought this up before. It's a thing that we use that causes the auto-delete. It's something that we keep asking about if it could be changed. And we'll continue to keep asking because sometimes it's a bit silly. But yeah, the stars, that's on us. Remember, if it's automatically deleted, we have to work with the people who are in charge of that. But yeah. Can we hit the blue button there? You Kashima, thank you. Are we able to get the merchant's ring in game currently? Yes. You can, but the other methods of attaining the piece, I think it's the last piece, isn't in. There's one piece which requires Odalita. When that eventually makes its way, you'll be able to get that piece there. But I think you can get it through trading, that piece. And then the other two pieces are in. As far as I am aware, the other two pieces are in the game. The Sakraya, is it Sakraya Abyssal?
Mm-hmm.
And the Paddix is the other two? I can't remember, but those ones are in.
There are certain pieces, yeah.
Can you tell me which monsters from Sakraya drop? I have no idea. I'm not even sure if it is Sakraya Abyssal that drops it. I believe it is. I know for a fact that Paddix is one of them. The souped-up Paddix monsters, I believe they are one, but I don't know which monsters drop it or not. Is it Upper Sakraya? Okay, it's Upper Sakraya, not Abyssal. All right.
Censorship is completely silly. No other game I play does. Yeah, and there's other games that do have that, and for us, we do have different levels of it. It is what that is for now. There was another one that I wanted to get to, is that at the moment, there is no... I've said this in the past, and I'll say it again. There is no direct compensation for the lack of Kafras from RBF going down, but we're trying to figure out a way to make sure that people feel better about it when the RBF does come back in.
Yeah, and we've
whether
also
it's by events and stuff like that. The Doom 2-seater thing is still not fixed. We've spoken about that.
Yep. I will say as well, we have been trying to prioritize events that have Kafras / Ancient Spirit Dust in them lately, such as the Unknown Ginseng and things like that. So we're trying to give it in other ways at the moment. So yeah, we're aware. We'll see what happens in the future. When are we getting Hadooms on the harder bosses? When stability is fixed, it'll be on the list.
Are we able to handle the hard bosses right now, based on the
I
scores that we have?
think based on people's stats, it'll be very similar to how it generally is anyway, which is it's really hard to do.
Yeah.
But again, it's something we have to look into, whether it's going to be possible to even scratch it at the moment, and then if not, see where we can go from there to make that possible, to then bring it in.
Fried rice, if you can't see world, server, or general talk.
You might have turned... Okay, so remember, there are two ways to turn off chat, and if you activate both, when you turn one on, it doesn't turn the other. So you can do it through the ring menu setting, or you can do it through your edit UI. And then if it's only certain ones you're not being able to see, then go check your settings, and you can turn on or off different channels, but you require you won't be able to see historically what's gone on in there. You will be able to see what comes next. So if no one else is writing in world chat, for example, you won't see it until the next person writes in world.
Not just that, you may need to send your chat channel. So if you go to settings, general settings, and then...
Just general?
Yeah, general settings, it'll show you like the different languages that you want to see. And I would just put that to international. Because it might be something that's conflicting with the console that you're on at the moment. Or the language settings of the console that you're on.
The Musa skill bugs. Musa in general won't be touched all too much this update. That will be in a coming update. As you said, kind of the cutoff ended up being a bit weird. But we are aware of the bugs and are trying to get fixes to the ones that already aren't fixed. Let me just check Musa, because I think there was...
Wait, didn't I talk about the Musa thing?
Yeah.
Was that just not heard?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, because okay. Yeah, so I'll just go back to that again. The Musa feedback that has been given in chat multiple times is something that we have seen at this point via Discord, as well as people just kind of talk about it in chats. So that has been forwarded, but I don't have really information on that at the moment. Do you guys know that it's been 2 months with our RBF? Yes. I know it's been a while with our RBF. Legitimately. However, if people are still kind of messing up with, in terms of like loading into the thing and stuff, that was going to be an issue. And that was an issue. Especially in chat. And I think a lot of people have forgotten that part. What's not my fault? Or what's not someone's fault?
What do we do for PvP? Node Wars, Conquest Wars, Battle Arena if you want to practice, flagging up, Guild Wars, GVGs, all that good stuff. You can PvP in many different ways. Yes, RBF isn't there, but you could substitute that with other methods, especially Conquest War. The rewards are pretty good now, and you can do that.
Paradox, I agree. Like, I legitimately agree with that sentiment of when RBF does come back, there should be a specific event that's tailored for console because it was removed for God knows how long. Right? Like, I agree with the sentiment. I'm going to hope for that to actually happen. I want it so that... I'll explain this. Like, so when we were trying to think of, like, how to compensate for the cap price loss, giving it to everyone would not have worked out properly. Because even at this point, we're not sure when we can bring it back. So, like, calculating all that.
Mm-hmm.
So once it's back, we can kind of figure out A, quantity, B, how many people were participating in RBF prior to that, and set like an average and see how many people can hit and how to get to it. I want it to be in the form of an event. I don't know if we would want to give it out straight up, but it's part of the conversation as to for when it comes back. Is there anything else I can say to that?
No.
Why is it not a priority? I assume you mean RBF because I remember that username. Other games address things like this ASAP.
Because it's an overall game thing that we're looking into. It's not just RBF that's being looked into. It's an overall stability effort.
For RBF to be a priority to bring it back, there's something else that needs to be done first, which is the stability. Then we can focus on the other stuff as well.
So what are we getting? Can we switch back to the ticker? I think the coupon code's good. Basically, Deve's new rupees, the Black Spirit Rage changes, some overall character changes, and that's about it, if I remember correctly. There might be something else, but that's about it. And then blue button, Kashima, thank you. It's good to have Kashima back, though, I will say.
It is.
Despite, the feelings I have towards the man most of the time, it is good to have him back.
Mm-hmm. I'm missing X amount of spirit dust every day. Yep, I agree. Again, part of something that is calculated. I hope doggo is fixed. I imagine you mean Heilang.
Yeah, that's the doggo, man. That's the doggo.
There might be more. Is trading with other players a future possibility?
Directly, no.
Yeah, based off of what Jahanim and Chezangnim have said in previous balls, that's not, at the moment, it's not being considered, but things may change.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would honestly say I don't think it's going to be happening.
Someone said, imagine streaming during Node Wars time. We actually can't really do a stream another time, especially on days like today when we have the maintenance later. Unfortunately, we can't do it much later because then no one will be able to watch it. Can't do it much earlier because we wouldn't be allowed in the office. So it's the unfortunate timings that have to happen when we're in this period of winter. It's a lot more difficult to delay or move things around, so we have to use this time. Yeah.
I mean, don't say like we're not allowed in the office.
No, we're not. Like, you don't know, but there's an armed guard who are like, you can't come into the office earlier. I've lost 3 friends that way.
I can talk a lot about it, but essentially there are government mandates that are trying to improve work life within South Korea, and therefore it's difficult to come in at certain times.
Someone said, is quantum physics the reason why I can't get a pen accessory? And you never know. Quantum entanglement may just be the reason for everything. So, possibly.
The notifications that keep appearing twice, the world boss stuff, is not limited to just EU. It happens.
It's everywhere.
Yeah. Is that being fixed in this one?
I need to go and follow up on it. Because if I remember correctly, it's... I can't really talk about it on stream, but it's not just... It's not the in-game part of things. There's something else.
Yeah.
How did we get so far off the roadmap? I'll answer this one. So basically, we were adding the content that we put on the roadmap, and we were putting as much as it in as we can. And unfortunately, the foundations were a bit shaky, ended up cracking and breaking and causing massive crash issues in the game. If you go back a few months ago when we were streaming then and about these, you would see that it is probably the biggest thing. Fix your game. The crashes. So what happened is we took the step back from the roadmap, put pause on that while we sorted out the crashes and stability issues. So that's what happened to the roadmap. Essentially, we were going through it. We moved Vel and Khan around to give us a little bit of extra time for the work that needed to be done on Vel to be the guild boss version, I think we were planning. But we had to do a lot of work on that. We switched them around, and then I think immediately after that is when the roadmap was stepped back from, and we decided that, we have to improve the stability of the overall game to build on further. So that's where the departure from the roadmap happened. We had to fix the crashes, and then we could get back onto it. It's taken quite a while, but it's going in the right directions.
And we have made a lot of progress on that. Someone was saying that they can't see skill effects even though the setting, whether you toggle the setting or not. I have to double check that.
I think there's a setting for old gens.
Yeah, because I think it's hardware dependent.
There might be an auto trigger if there's too many people. I can't remember. That feels like something that was added.
I remember that being added a while ago, or something of that nature. So DM me or one of the others, and then let's figure it out from there, because that does sound odd.
There was something in 2020, but I'm not sure if it disabled it directly or if it was like at a certain point it will disable. But there was something added quite a while ago about that. I'd need to search and double check.
Why do we keep taking world bosses and turning them into guild bosses? Didn't we just do that to the one?
We have, but we were planning Vel.
We were planning Vel. The reason was at that point it was a optimization issue. It wasn't so much as a stability, because at that point, when we first did Garmouth as a guild boss, it was about optimization rather than stability. And now that we're focused on stability, I don't know if we can get that world boss in as quickly. But the eventual goal is to bring it all back in as a world boss. Answer my question when are we getting content? Blue, we just explained it in terms of the priority focuses at this point. You guys knew about the crashes for a while. Did you not know about this before? how do I say this? So, no, that actually has to be something that Jay has to talk about. But as I said before, crashes and optimization are not the same thing. In this regard, and when we talk about it, the stabilization was fine for the most part, but the optimization wasn't. And then it kind of got borked around, I want to say, when do we start doing all these patches? I want to say it's like September, October.
It's, yeah.
Right? When we're like, because we knew about what we wanted to work on in terms of stabilization, but getting the patches out was always dependent on the one before it. So you can take a look at Friday as the example for, or Friday KST as the example for this. When we did the Xbox one, there were other things that we also want to work on, but we wanted to see if this patch worked first. And it didn't. So we had to pull that back and then go forward from there again. And unfortunately, it's a give and take system on that.
Okay. Quick recap, it's underneath. That's basically the recap. Where is it? Yeah, it's kind of like things are moving and I can't read the question fast enough. And then when I read it, it's like, okay, it's something we've already answered.
Yeah, I would also say, no, I'll kind of let you guys kind of debate that stuff. At the moment, and someone has asked this in a previous stream, not the last one, because the last one was a gong show, but the one before the last one was, are you able to determine who plays on what console? The answer is yes. Bearing those numbers in mind is why we kind of still, not kind of, like why we still focus on old gen and next gen stuff. So we look at it as a whole. We can also see where those console or people on some specific console, where they're spending most of their time. And that's the other side of things. So when we take a look at all those numbers and stuff like that, yes, again, stability has to come first. Can we get some transparency on those numbers? We can't stay tied to old gen forever. That is a conversation we would need to have with
A lot of people much higher up in the food chain than us.
specific platforms. No, it's the platform stuff.
Oh, it's platforms too?
Yeah, because it's...
Well, again, much higher up in the food chain than us.
Yeah, a random example would be like, hey, McDonald's, how many McChickens did you sell today? No one's going to give you that. Even the local McDonald's probably wouldn't tell you that unless you're friends with them in the back. So, yeah. At what point does it stop? I imagine you mean about old gen stuff. I'm not sure. I think it would be... I think comparing the jump from SNES to N64, from PS4 to PS5, or an Xbox to a Series X, is incorrect.
Even the jump from PS3 to PS4 was vastly different between these two. Okay. I think we're about done.
Minding my business, can you... Wait, I didn't read your giant paragraph? I'm pretty sure I read it if I didn't respond to it, but basically push that message again, and then I'll take a look at that again.
HP journal when? Which one would be the HP journal? Because this one gives a lot of HP, which is Deve's.
You said you would bring up more servers for EU. Yep. That is also a conversation that continuously has to happen. So in the case of adding more servers, I think that got put on hold again in terms of these issues first, because they all have to kind of work interconnected, but this has to come first. Greco.
Oh, the Greco? Okay, I'll bring it up again. It gives 30 HP, but it still gives HP. Actually, I think the official number is 26 HP. 27 HP, I was one off. 27 HP.
Can we keep the one fuel tag cost permanent,
No,
but on a 2-week cooldown or something.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but given console's unique circumstances, it might be something to bring up again. We should actually bring that one up.
I've got missed calls, but I don't know who they're from. So
Gunslinger class? Well, in terms of new class ideas, people do send a lot. I'll say this. So when people send new class ideas, I have a kind of an issue with responding to it because it gives the impression that I'm stealing their idea and then putting it into the game. So for example, like and I'll take it back to Hash. When Hash came out, a lot of people gave ideas for this kind of class and this kind of class and this kind of class. And there were like 1 or 2 people that basically the day before we announced Hash, described Hash. So what if it's like sandstorms and it's like Prince of Persia and all this kind of stuff? And I was just like, I can't respond to this. And then when it came out, they were like, kind of like, well,
you stole my idea.
And I understand that feeling about it, right?
Yeah.
Like I understand that from a creative perspective. So I would say we do look at a lot of ideas, but I don't think I personally, I don't think I would respond to that. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Krogdolos, horse gear sets. There was something needed for that wasn't available. Krogdolos.
Kroggies is based on the region.
The horse gear set?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Deep Skips. I know Deep Skips 27, and then I know what Greco's is. Okay.
No, new class ideas, like, I don't think that it's equivalent to, like, I have an idea for, like, the greatest MMO game to make kind of thing. I don't think it's the exact same. But from a creator's perspective, I feel for them. I won't share personal stories, but, yeah, I don't think I would respond. But I would read them and talk to people about it, but I don't know if I would respond. What was that last one? Sorry, I got that from YouTube. Where'd it go?
Any new Pearl Shop outfits coming? I have no idea. I don't look at that.
Any chance we can get the Pearl Shop reward boxes that contained items that were not sold on the Pearl Shop? I think I know what you're talking about, but I have to talk to someone very specific. I don't know if I can get you an answer, but I'll have that conversation. There's someone extremely specific to talk to about that. Okay.
Hatchin, your question is extremely nuanced. I can't give you an answer here. It really depends, like, what's going on. But yeah. All right. I think that's about it. I don't think we've got much else. A lot of the questions are repeating it right now.
At this point?
Yeah.
Mostly, like, I can't respond to that.
I know.
I want to, but to be fair, right? All right, you know what? Screw it. To be fair, if you're talking about a Soul Reaper class, is that not just Sork with a scythe?
Yeah.
So are you talking about a male version? Because I would say
Hash is very similar.
Has similar mechanics.
Yeah.
And is a mix of other characters as well at that time. But
we'll give it a little bit more because Kashmir just walked out the door. So, like, we got to give it a little more time anyway.
Yeah, because he bounced.
He bounced. He's done. Musa needs a big debuff. So, one of the changes, it's not in this update, unfortunately for us, should be in the next one, is a lot of the PvP damage on skills has been reworked. They were all pretty low. I saw people. How can I describe this in the best way possible? When looking at skills, look at the number of hits in regards to the PvP damage. So, like, some people were saying, like, X and Y skill has been nerfed in the reboot. Why did you nerf my class?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, the skill, let's say the skill went from, let's say, times 5 to times 25. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So X amount of damage times 5 is what it used to be, and it would have like a 20% PvP modifier. And now it's X% times 25, but now it has a much higher PvP modifier. Because the number of hits increases the number of damage, you have to increase that modifier to make sure it's not batty, which kind of what happened to Musa. Musa's numbers didn't change quite as much as they needed to with a lot of his skills, and the increase of hits and the increase of damage, it didn't increase as much as it should have. So there's a lot of things to take into account when looking at if a skill is buffed or nerfed. More hits equals more damage. If the PvP thing is adjusted in a way where it looks higher, you need to work out if the percentage is higher than the raise in hits. And usually it's not unless otherwise specified. Because normally we would say the number of hits, let's say it would say the number of hits has increased, but PvP damage remains the same. That's something that used to come up before the reboots. That kind of stuff, it's really awkward to describe, and I don't know the math myself, but that's essentially it. If the number of hits increases, the PvP damage has to increase. The PvP reduction has to increase in tandem with it so that it doesn't just exponentially get stronger.
Okay.
If that makes sense in PvP.
The voltaic damage issue is still being investigated. I don't think it has been worked on this one.
I don't think it's fixed in this one.
Or elsewhere either. I think that is still under investigation. Man, now everyone's sending classes. I believe Jesselyn even has said a dwarf class is probably most likely not to happen.
Boo.
I'm pretty sure he has said that out of all, or like certain but he has also said like it may change at some point.
He also said dream donkeys would never happen.
All right.
But generally,
send the ideas. It's gonna happen. If you send me your MS Paint pictures of it as well, awesome. So gunslinger, a la Dante. It's gonna be really tough.
That's such a hard sell. Like that has been talked about quite a bit actually. That was mentioned in one of the polls.
Well, when people talk
like
about
a pretty much hard no.
But Dante isn't just like if you try to only play gunslinger in DMC 3, 4, or 5 without using your sword ever, it's a bad time.
Nah, mate. You're just not as good as the guns.
No, because DMC 3 you can only take 2 guns in. So it's like right. So that'll be kind of tough. I would say the gender locking of classes. When I first started playing, I know that kind of irked me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as bad about it anymore. I was like, I don't really care. Like, and that's just me. I'm not saying like other people are wrong in believing otherwise. I just don't. For me, it's just like I have shy, right? I don't want to play as the Florin King.
I know someone who does and has made their shy into.
Oh, exactly. Like it's just a.
By God, is it horrifying?
It's a case by case situation for people. I thought Corsair had guns.
She has a rifle.
She did. She shot her pops. So
it's a rifle, I think.
Yeah. And I'm kind of okay with it. Other times it's kind of like this class is similar to this and this and that. A Beast Master class.
Isn't that Tamar?
I'm assuming male. Oh, I can't say that. I know I have suggested certain classes, myself from my own personal stuff, as well as what other people
She shot who? Corsair in the Awakening story shot
Spoilers.
her father.
Yeah.
Patrigio.
Dude, spoilers!
It's been long enough, man. If you haven't watched Star Wars by now.
I haven't, but she, like, she shoots her pops.
By accident. Yeah, by accident.
And then her pops is like, you know what? That's your awakening weapon now. You hit the target. So, yeah.
It awakened a homicidal rage inside of Corsair. She got the taste for blood. Can you revert the damage?
A real one with minions.
The damage increase against Shies?
There are male Shies around the BDO world, yet we cannot make one because they're pacifists. Right? The male Shies are pacifists. We haven't seen a warrior Shie, have we?
We have.
Some
of them are drafted into the army. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like the male Shies?
Yeah.
You can still be a pacifist in the army.
True. They could just
hold up a white flag and
they could do deliveries.
Yeah.
Shi's lore is I love Shi's lore. Like in terms of the whole race itself. Like one of the stories is it just turned someone into grass or something like that. They made a cookie, gave it to someone, and it turned them into a tree. Just they do dumb stuff like that.
Someone has suggested
they have no ethics.
Someone has suggested that as a new skill.
What?
Turning people into trees.
We could call it touch grass.
Like if you do the Robomsko where you throw the ball and there's a Robomsko where you can throw a ball.
Like Spirit Bomb?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? And it has different kind of effects on it.
Uh-huh.
What if one of the effects was it turns into a tree?
Oof. Oof.
So the idea was you neutralize them, but then you take out your lumbering axe and then cut them.
The answer on the revert damage increase, I have no idea which update that was in. I'd need to go and talk about it. Like, that's something I'd have to investigate myself and go talk to the right people. It's nothing I can give here.
Taco, I know you would. So no.
There is a treasure called Emerald in the ocean. When you acquire other treasures, you let the world know.
Called Rooted. That's exactly what the skill they called it.
If you buy this at the store, BDO doesn't tell you the world. Is there a reason? The Ebonruff's Knoll, I don't know the reason why it doesn't come up. That's something I'd have to ask. I thought it did, but if it doesn't, I need to go talk a few people about that.
There needs to be more weapon exchange coupons. I believe there's methods already. And again, going forward, there'll be other ways to obtain those things, but I don't know if they'd be more like accessible every hour or every day. Like more accessible in that way, just more opportunities to get them.
Someone said when they talked about Soul Reaper, they were talking about Bleach. Do you not watch anime? And
no, because when I heard Soul Reapers, I was thinking Soul Eater as well. Because that's a different
I
anime.
have no idea about quite a lot of anime. Silly kids and their animes and mangoes, man.
So Bleach, right? Where do you want me to start?
That's the stuff we used to clean the floor, right?
That's what he
and
did.
We cleaned the toilets, and it's quite corrosive.
It is corrosive. I can tell you that much as well.
Yeah, I know quite a bit about Bleach.
Bleach is dope. I still
never mix it with other stuff. That's one of the most important things.
I haven't used my exchange coupons for a while. Yeah, there's a lot.
Please don't for saying mango.
Bunkai.
Okay. Someone brought up just before. Scroll up, please. Catchment, scroll up. Right. Okay. I still haven't used my last 6 exchange coupons in the last 2 months. Congratulations for you. Down a little bit. Because I haven't used any of mine either. I have no need. When the season is over, do we get the pen necklace for winter season? Because mine is locked. You have to have completed this season, and then you will be able... You have to complete the quests that enable you... Sorry. You have to complete the quests that enable you to get the honorable certificate. I believe it's Dreaming Beyond the Aurora. And once you do that and the Big Wide World, you will be able to transfer the Honorable Adventurer's Certificate, I believe it is, for the pen neck. It will be locked until then, because otherwise, right now it's showing you last season's rewards that are available.
Nevermind, that was considered and had been looked into, and possibly revisiting that after we kind of look at how data kind of loads in.
When does season end? If you open your season pass with a season character, it usually tells you around when the end date will be. I believe March is when it officially ends. But the season pass will tell you, it'll say like available between X and Y, and that's usually when the end date will be. 5th of March, thank you.
For those of you that are upset by Shirna and his comments about Bleach, unfortunately, that is an old anime. Male characters
I used to watch anime back then. Just wouldn't watch Bleach. It's dumb.
What'd you watch? Dexter's Lab? Is that what
No,
you consider animation?
I was watching a lot more weebier stuff.
Okay, fair.
Like, Bleach would be like, watching Dragon Ball Z. That's not really an anime fan. The stuff I was watching back then was hardcore weeb.
Hardcore weeb?
Hardcore weeb.
I'll give you that.
I have shed that skin for quite a while. I still
Normie anime.
Yeah, it's a normie anime. Bleach is a normie anime. That's it.
Bleach, yeah. Okay.
Look, man, all I'm saying is if you haven't watched every aired episode of Digikara, can you even say that you're an anime fan? I mean...
Did you just pick that because that's the one you watched?
That is the one I watched.
Okay, fair enough.
Digikara was the one that I watched quite a lot. And Oh My Goddess and that kind of era of anime would be when I was...
Oh, when, shading wasn't a thing?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, back when it was all hand-drawn. Yeah.
Ryan, that's not true. Do you know what that is?
Tenchi Muyo? I watched that was on TV.
All right.
I watched Digimon, hell yeah, and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. I still watch Pokemon.
Those are the normie animes.
Those are the normie animes, but those were the ones that introduced me to the wider world of anime, man.
Dual Scimitar Fattest sounds really cool, but I am not promising you anything. I don't know anything about it. I wanted the, not the fattest, but the Peeps of Blood Wolves.
Blood Wolves? The Cactum?
Cactums, that's what it is. What is so wrong?
One Piece forever, yeah, the series has been going on forever, yes.
But you can't say that if you're a Marvel fan. Marvel has gone on since the beginning of time.
True, but...
And Peter Parker is still broke.
But how many times have they had to reinvent the story because they run out of ideas? Mad props to One Piece for having a continuous storyline over 1,000 plus episodes.
Yeah, it's continuous. Whereas Marvel is like, how many more ways can I break Peter Parker's heart?
And that's what I love. Okay, what did I miss besides the adventure logs?
Adventure logs hunting will also earn you Carfras and a few quality of life changes, as well as BSR Rage. When you use BSR Rage skills,
you now get the
common
buffs. The
at
AP,
the 100.
Yeah, at the 100 and 200%, you will get those buffs.
Code Lyoko doesn't count. Code Lyoko doesn't count.
It's how English people get introduced to anime. Like, it's not wrong, man. We got introduced. If you're my age, you got introduced to anime the same way I did, which was Pokemon on at 7 o'clock in the morning, but they would show it out of order because it wasn't popular.
Fair.
And then one day it became popular, and they were like, right, we have to start at the beginning. And I was like, yo, where's Charmander, bro? What am I watching here? Where's Charmander? Like, I've seen that as Charizard, and the next episode is a Charmander. What is going on? And then they started showing it in order, and I was like, that's weird.
Kashimo, did you have the same thing as well, where like, maybe this is just for the Canadians? If you watch Dragon Ball Z as it was coming out dubbed, and it hits like the middle of the Frieza saga, but they haven't dubbed the next episode, they go back to Raditz.
Yeah.
And you gotta wait another year.
Yep. All right, the coupon code is Store Your Worries. That will give you a combat or life box. You'll be able to choose whether you want the combat side of things, a mix, or if you want the life skill side of things, that will be your choice. Agris on the ring menu. Yeah. Why has that not been considered before? Why is this the first time I'm hearing of this? Agris on the ring menu. So
I'm trying to get the skateboard on the ring menu.
No, sir.
Skateboard on the ring menu affects everybody.
No. Skateboard on the ring menu affects shies.
Which is everyone. Everyone has a shy. Everyone.
It's not far from the truth.
Yeah. Everyone has a shy. But yes, Agris on the ring menu is a really good suggestion. That being said, I think we should end it at this point. Do you think so?
I mean, yeah, we're kind of getting into the derpy derp phase.
Super derps, yeah.
Yeah, when we're talking about, weird cartoons for
It's
kids.
a hover ring. Okay. You don't need skateboard on the ring, sir.
It would be nice to have on the ring menu, because quite a few times, you want to lock something, then put it on the ring menu.
It's
Cowboy Bebop,
essential.
Trigun, Outlaw Star. Outlaw Star, what an anime.
fair.
That was back when I watched, and then I had a very nasty divorce with anime, and then now I
What
only
caused
dabble.
your divorce with anime, though?
That's a question for when we get outside.
Oh my god, you went on the weird part of the internet, didn't you? Oh my god.
Nah, I grew up.
Oh, you what? What do you mean?
My tastes in life had changed at that point.
You know there's different animes per age group.
Sir, all I'm saying is the animes that were coming out when I was there was mostly like the romantic stuff. That was the stuff I had easy access to, like Oh My Goddess and stuff like that. So because that was what was easy accessible, and I had a 56k modem, didn't have broadband internet until much later than everyone else, it's kind of hard to get anime.
But you would never pirate it. You're
No.
just explaining your internet situation.
Yeah, well, all right. If we go on the fact that you couldn't buy real anime back then either.
Could you not?
No, you would have one copy of Ghost in the Shell, one copy of Akira, and one copy of a random box set, which is half empty in a random store, and then you'd have to travel halfway across the country to get the other half. Anime was hard when I was growing up, man. I had to walk uphill both ways.
So we had similar constraints where anime wasn't being shown, but I was really into it. So we had to go to there's like people who would import the VHSs, but they've dubbed it themselves, but not in English. It's how I learned Mandarin. Because like they dubbed it in Mandarin. And it was just one guy doing the female male voices. So the voice that you grew up with, that is now Gohan and Goku and all them,
Yeah.
I did not have that. I had someone very different. I knew enough Mandarin to get by. I just haven't practiced it forever, so I don't know it.
Is the Guardian outfit dropping tonight? I believe yes, if we're doing the exchange tonight. The UK used to be so bad for anime. I used to go to a market that would have foreign films. I'd be able to buy Bollywood. I'd be able to buy Hong Kong cinema.
Oh,
be
fair.
able to buy like Korean cinema. And this was a time before all those were popular. Hong Kong, actually, cinema time then was popular. He had one anime DVD, and it was the third part of a 10-part box set, and he only had DVD number 3. Didn't even have 1 and 2, and that's what was rough. Anyway, character channel still not working, even with the daylight savings time workaround. We'll report it again. It's something that just keeps deciding it doesn't want to work. It's weird. Shirna is Naruto. What's a Naruto? Is that like when you have to go to the doctor and have like the surgery on your toes?
It's similar to Bleach and One Piece, but they gave up on animation faster than they did.
Okay, all right, cool.
That's all it is.
Bilston Market. Dude, that's my neck of the woods. That's my neck of the woods, but I go to his mate who worked in Dudley. They were friends with each other. I know this guy. I know that place. Oh, Bilston Market. What a trip.
I was Robotech and stuff like that, yeah.
Guild tab is broken, doesn't show the guild history. Yeah. We'll bring it back up. We fix it, and then it decides to turn itself off, and then turn itself back on, and turn itself back off.
Naruto is full of retcons, yeah.
I completely lost. Nah. Okay. Is there anything else? Why is tongue grad so overpriced and neck accessories dropping in price? Neck accessories would be fluctuating right now because the season reward was the Pen Capodia neck.
Mm-hmm.
Tongue grad being overpriced, people value the Black Spirit's Rage over other alternatives, I would say.
Underlinked, have you guys ever considered putting patch notes up during downtime? We've been trying to be a lot better about it, where when the servers go down, we try to upload it at a specific time. But there's a lot of times where also the website goes down because there's maintenance being done on that end as well. Because, yeah, whatever, right? So we try to do it as fast as we can. we were doing really well. The last update was a little bit rough because it's like 5 pages, so we were late on that. But hopefully this time around we'll do better.
The tongue prices, I'd need to have a lot more information. I'll get someone to take a look, but I doubt it.
Doom Horse is not fixed yet.
No, the problem with Doom Horse is that if someone is on the back of the 2-seater and Doom decides to go zoom zoom with the flames, it transports the passenger and other people to the Shadow Realm. Is basically what's happening.
So-
we have to fix that.
I'll address this as well. So, like, some people are saying, like...
Question, the Ring of Merchant drop. Yes, it drops on console because my friend got one point in sick. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
It does.
It'll drop in Paddocks as well, the Paddocks rework section. And then the last piece isn't available yet through those methods.
Yeah. I'll kind of bring this back to the content creator side of things, where people are doing the tournaments and stuff. I think Armin is phenomenal at what he did for EU,
Yeah.
like that tournament. I would also say, like, I wouldn't sleep on Zect or Lord, who are commentating as well. Like, they did awesome. They go at different speeds, and the way they do it is going to be different. And Guido's going to do the NA one. I don't know if I'm allowed to spoil who's also going to be with him, but I'll let Guido kind of make those announcements himself. And it's going to be different in voices. So someone was asking, like, why don't me and you do hosts and stuff like that? Like, whether it's, like, celebratory related things or the, like, tournaments and stuff. Would you want to do that kind of stuff? Because for me personally, I won't put you on the spot like that, but for me personally, I have fun casting those kind of tournaments, but I'm nowhere near as good as a Guido or Zect or Armin. You know, like, I will like to leave those to the professionals,
Yeah.
right? And like,
I don't mind doing it. Like, it's fine for me. But, like, I cannot do what Armin does. I cannot recognize every skill in the game from a quarter-second animation.
yeah,
Like, that's insane. I can't even
That's a
name.
talent.
I can't even name Zerk's skills, and I play it every day.
I mean, yeah.
You tell me a skill name. I don't know what it is. You tell me what it does, and I'm like, oh, that one. It's the one that pews a cannon. Gotcha. Okay. Like, names I usually have to check up. I am not good with names.
I think with classes and stuff, like, I'll be fine with the classes I do play and stuff, but no, casting's a talent, and I think Armin has that talent, as well as Lamore and all them. So I think it's better fitted for them, as well as maybe Guido, because I've seen Guido cast, and sometimes he just says pew-pewed, which I enjoy. I enjoy that quite a bit. But this kind of goes back to the next thing where it was like, are you guys planning on doing community events? Yes. I want to do more. And hopefully we're getting back to a spot where we can do it. Kind of sucks, but yeah. I want to do more, not just PvP related things, but things that everyone kind of participates in. Sork has the edgiest skill names? Yup. Sork has some very, very interesting skill names.
Whoever said, like, we don't play the game,
Don't care.
don't care.
I will say, I think every community manager has a different role in what they do. And community manager or GM, I don't really care what the title is. And it's good. Honestly, that commentary would be awesome. He pew-pewed to Spite. When Guido, like, needs to drink water, but he keeps going, it's amazing. Lord and Zect have great chemistry where they just kind of have that banter with them. And like I said, they don't have the rap speed that is Armin, but they have the banter that keeps them, you know, keeps it very entertaining. So I enjoy that a lot.
It's play-by-play versus color, basically.
I would also say it's just different styles. I remember when Guido did that tourney with Fields.
Oh.
That was really fun because one of them they were both in the tournament themselves. So it was really weird. And I think Zemple at one point just casted himself.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
So I think now that he's back, I think we're gonna end it here. Guys, want to say big thank you for joining us. We're continuing to work on stability and things like that. When we're ready to do content, we'll let you know as soon as possible. But at the end of the day, I want to thank you all for joining us and, continuing to come here and view my ugly face specifically for more than an hour. I mean, it's hard enough for me to look in the mirror for more than 10 seconds. But yeah, thank you for joining us, and it is always an honor and a privilege to be here in front of you.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah?
This went a lot smoother than the last one.
Yeah.
So tentatively speaking, we are having an update today. Kaushal, can you bring up the times one more time?
So, the times are 9 p.m. till 2 a.m. That's PST times. Please adjust that towards whatever you are. EU, 5 a.m. till 10 a.m. And for Asia, it will be 1 p.m. until 6 p.m. So those are your times for the maintenance today. Thank you so much for joining us. And I guess we'll see you next time.
Have a good one, everyone.